Jebran peers into the night, the crackling fire beside him lending warmth. In the distance, he can see hundreds of lights, similar to theirs, hidden away behind a tall wall of wood and nestled into the mountain range. He never saw so many bandits and outlaws gathering in a single place before. The thought of it reminds him of the wound in his back he suffered just a few days ago, still not fully healed. He passes the red cloth through his fingers. This is all that keeps these savages at bay and not killing us on the spot, Jebran thinks to himself. He looks over to Katania, fast asleep beside the campfire. With a deep sigh, he continues peering into the night, ever so watchful for uninvited guests. Iron Stories, Episode 37, Hideout. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Iron Stories. So, Jebran and Katania had a good night's sleep at this point. And there are maybe 1 hour or so off this hideout they hid behind a rock where they made their fire. And now they have to go in. But first things first, just from their vow, from their quest, Jebran had the vow that they have to find and investigate the bandit camps, and I would say this is probably one step in that direction in this quest that is fulfilled. If they found the camp, they now have to investigate it, of course. So this is now 1 mark. It's a formidable quest, so they have now 1 filled box out of 10, so quite some things to do and quite some things ahead. So they made camp here. They made camp for the night. Nothing really important happened, or nothing extraordinary happens, luckily for me. Although it was a weak hit. But still, it was good enough. It's not so damaging if you just get a very weak hit here and make camp. So I think they sleep in, holding watch after each other to get both of them some good night's sleep and some restful eye. And in the next morning, they set up and try to get to this camp, or this hideout that they see in the distance. In the distance, they could only see, especially in the night, Jebran could only see the fires. But now as they get closer, they can see that this wall that is erected between these two hills, or part of the mountains. So it's like it goes a bit like inwards to a mountain, and left and right there's a mountain range that comes up, or that erect itself, and in this like V-shaped protrusion for the mountain, there is this bandit encampment built into, and there's a wooden wall built in the space between the mountain range and the open field, so to speak. So making a quite well defended camp or hideout. And as I said, it takes maybe an hour or two hiking as they slowly approach this hideout, still always keeping an eye out to not be ambushed. But out here, it's more like more or less a plain field, and it just slowly, gradually changes into this mountain range. So it's before the mountain, everything is more or less a plain, and it's just here that it starts to get the mountain. So they can see very well in each direction. So there shouldn't be any much surprise, hopefully, for them to be surprised as well. So they slowly approach this wall, this palisade, and they can see that there is maybe one main entrance in the middle of this wall. They can see that probably behind the wall itself there is a it's probably well fortified. So there is a walkway across at the top of the wall that they can walk around left and right. There is no directly towers there. It's just a straight wall, and there's just the walkway across there. There's probably some sort of there's probably some sort of framework gantry behind the wall that they can just climb up and down. Maybe just even a ladder or something like that, where they can get to the walkway, and they can see patrolling there a handful of bandits left and right. And in the front of the main gate, there is maybe a little encampment there as well. Some sort of campfire, where there's maybe I would say 5 people, 5 persons around the campfire, 2 standing up looking around, and 3 sitting right next to it, some sort of gatekeepers watch for the night on the ground floor. And these are at one point, I guess, because it is such an open field here before the camp, they get spotted quite early on, and they can see that the 2 guys that are standing watch at the gate. They turn around quickly and look into the direction of Katania and Jebran. So it's probably not easy to sneak up here if you don't know specifically the terrain very well. So I don't think they will even try to sneak up on. I can ask the Oracle if they maybe want to sneak up to the camp or to the hideout, but I guess since they don't really know the environment and the layout of the camp itself anyway, because they're basically on a reconnaissance mission here, I don't think they want to. I don't think it's in their best. I think they try to rely on their these cloth things, on these insignias to help them out here. So it's probably best to frontally go there. If they try to sneak and fail, because they're both not the best sneakers, as they've found out the last time they managed to or they tried to do sneak around some bandits. So I guess it's not in their best interest. And I guess from their wisdom, they could probably sense it's probably the best approach to head on, to confront directly, because as I said, they have at least insignia, so it makes it maybe a bit better for them to confront everything and to maybe hopefully succeed in their task as well. So they're slowly approaching. As I said, there's like these 5 people there. The other 3 that are sitting around the fire, they are on guard. They have been probably alerted as well by the others, probably by the patrols up on the wall. So yeah, that's the other 2 are just turning around and slowly even approaching both of them. I mean, they're just 2 that don't seem to be giving up much of a threat to them, to the bandits here as well, because they're 2. There's at least 5 of them on the ground. There is at least 5 probably as well on the walkway, also probably equipped with bow and arrow. So if they try to attack, if they try to flee, they will probably be outnumbered quite enormously. And as I said, this time around, it's probably not for them. They could probably not just brute force their way through as they did with the bandits. And it's now day, so last time it was night as well. So they're quite outnumbered, outflanked. So they probably have to rely on their wits as it comes through there. So they approach slowly, trying not to be out of any threats. And one of the 2 that is walking towards them is approaching them, and talks to them directly, and one hand probably on his sword, or the like that he has around his hips, and asks them, what's your business here? It's best that you turn around and leave and forget whatever you have seen here. And yeah, he is quite threatening them. It's makes sense. And I would say Jebran is the first, is probably pushing a bit ahead, standing in front of Katania, just with his imposing frame that he has, and yes, now that he has maybe a bit of better armor that he gathered from the bandits. He's also I think he put his piece of cloth maybe on his belt, around his waist or somewhere around that, and he's trying to rough it up, so to speak, and this is pointing to his insignia, and just and tells them, let's say something in the lines of, let her through, we have business in the camp. And the guy in front that just musters them, I mean, he probably has seen a lot of people go in and out of the camp. I don't know if he has like a thorough knowledge of who is in and who is not, so to speak, in this endeavor, and this thing that they do here. So he's still trying to muster them. He's still trying to maybe find out, place them. Does he have seen them? Are they new? Are they shitting him? But I would say, so From Jebran, I would guess that this is a compel. So compel says, when you attempt to persuade someone to do something, envision your approach and roll. So I guess it's a persuasion in this regard. He says, "Let us through." So get out of the way. Basically, it's to say. So now is the question which stat I roll here, because I can either charm, pacify, barter, or convince him. So it's a plus heart. I can threaten or incite, which would be plus iron, which would be basically the best. Or it could be lie or swindle. So I guess I'm probably leaning more into this convincing part, just because he's trying to convince them, hey, we're part of you. It's also somewhat of a lie at that point, and it's also somewhat like a threat to them. Hey, let us through, or else. Although, I guess Jebran, I mean, he's probably intelligent enough just because of his wits that he's wise enough to not threaten them, because he can see that they're clearly outnumbered. So I guess it's not a threatening move that he tries to do here. So I would think I still rely. I would say it's a convincing move. So it's a plus heart, which is equally bad for them, because he's just pointing at the insignia, which he tries to be, or yeah, he thinks that this is maybe some sort of help for the situation. So yeah, let's roll for Jebran, compel plus heart. Wow, nice. I rolled a 6 against a 2 and a 4, so that is a strong hit, which is quite lucky for me, because as I said, Jebran isn't the best in heart. He's more the brute force guys. It's quite unlikely for him to succeed here, but he succeeded. It looks like that he is convincing enough. Just his frame, his stature, probably. And by pointing at the insignia, the other guy just probably looks up and down and makes a saying, well, they could belong here. They look like the source of it. I mean, Jebran is even wearing the bandit armor, so maybe he recognizes that, maybe a bit, the brand, maybe somebody maybe has seen it around the camp. So he looks like he might belong here. Has never seen his face before, and he would think, yeah, I would probably remember such a face, but apparently not. But it's good enough for him to convince the other guy to relax a bit. So he's like letting go of the hand on his sword that he has around his waist, and getting him more into instead of the of a posture that is like in a fighting stance, or at the ready. He relaxes him a bit, and maybe gives a sign to the others to keep away, and they can see that the patrol on the walkway start moving again. They stopped looking at the situation that happened below them, just to intervene if necessary. And the other 3 guys and 2 guy, or the other guy that's standing beside him, again have the relaxed thing. They go back into whatever they do. So at the moment, it looks like they succeeded. So on a strong hit, they'll do what you want, which is basically that they let them go. They don't interfere with their moving. Or sure, but they know they don't. That's not whatever. Take plus momentum. So Jebran goes to +8 momentum, which is really, really great. It lets me hopefully at some point burn the momentum, which is really good. I could even think. So what I could also do is, if you use this exchange to gather information, make that move now and add +1. So I guess Jebran could also think about, now he has the attention of this guy, to maybe yeah, to maybe get some information out of it now that they're yeah, to find out a bit more about maybe the inner workings of this thing here. So he's maybe trying to ask the guards a bit of things. Now the question is, what does he try to find out? I guess. I mean, he could say that he's new, and just looking for some action, for something to do. So he could ask to whom he shall ask to get some work, or he could ask around about Whitewood, because he knows that there probably was a contingency sent to Whitewood. So he wants to maybe find out a bit more about that. So the question is, which one of the two is he pursuing? So let's see. Let's get a oracle going then for that. So it's, I say, a 50-50 one. So let's say on a yes, he asks about Whitewood, and on a no, he asks about some jobs. So basically, who's in charge here? Who can ask for some jobs? I'm new, etc., etc. It's more likely the thing here. So I rolled a 64, which means yes. So he asks about Whitewood. So he goes ahead and tries to gather information now that he has the attention of that guy. So let's say he says, hey, we're coming from Whitewood. There was an issue there. The people there were prepared. We need to talk to we need to talk to the man in charge, maybe to reevaluate that, or to yeah, he just said, hey, we're coming from Whitewood. We were sent there, and who gave that order? We were ambushed. He's. I mean, it's probably quite hard. So maybe he's more asking about in the lines of, hey, we're coming from, or we heard about Whitewood, that they were ambushed there. We need to talk to the guys that are coordinating that, or that was responsible to sending the first guys to Whitewood. If he knows somebody coming from there, or to whom to talk to about that issue, about Whitewood. Yeah, I don't think so. Even with the +1 I got from the compel here, I only got a weak hit. I rolled a 5 against an 8 and a 1, so I rolled like a 2 on my action dice, which is pretty bad. So yeah, the argumentation of Jebran isn't probably the best one. As even I was unsure how to ask that question to not sound suspicious, and I guess yeah, it still sounded clearly suspicious as well to the guard here. So on a weak hit, the information complicates your quests or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover and take +1 momentum. So at least, I mean, he's now at +9, which is really great. So yeah, the argumentation wasn't really that great, and the guard is, again, he's a bit perplexed as well on getting this question. So, okay, you have the insignia, you're asking about who is in charge here, about a job that you did or participated in, and you don't have any clue anymore about that. That sounds kind of suspicious. So yeah, he's not really paying it. He's not paying it 100%. He's kind of second guessing that question. So he signals one of the guys around the fire over, and he whispers something in his ears, and then he says he will take you to him, basically giving them an escort to wherever they need to go. So he doesn't trust them a bit at this point. That this question was just kind of way too suspicious to him, and he's basically giving them a guard dog. He's not directly giving them direction, and they don't specifically as well know to where they getting directions to. They just have to follow that guy, and he's basically also making his posture also signals that, okay, go with them. You've welcomed your stay here long enough, and he's again getting a bit more tense again, back away from his relaxed state where he was before, and now he's back in a bit more of a tense state, and ushering them to go on. And the other guy, he's a little bit, let's say, a bit younger, maybe. He's a bit even than Katania, I would say. He's like probably new in this group. I don't know if he even wanted to be in this group, or he got somehow pulled into this thing. So yeah, he's with the greenhorn, so to speak, in the group, and has to do the menial tasks. And apparently, that task includes moving newcomers around, escorting newcomers. So yeah. So they set off, walking behind this young guy to the gate, always under the watchful eyes of the guard behind them, and the others that are on top of the wall and on top on the floor, right next to the campfire. They are quite yeah. there's some tension, and Jebran and Katania can feel it. That and I guess it even gets uncomfortable for them to move now directly into the 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 lion's den, so to speak. They have nowhere to go. They just have to go forward. They cannot go back right now. They're in deep. They have to follow through whatever they started here. So they're not that comfortable as well. So slowly but surely they reach the gate. They move through the gate, and now they can for the first time see a bit what's behind this big wall as well. And it's a sight maybe somewhat familiar, half familiar, and a sight somewhat new to them. As I said, probably left and right next to the wall, there is scaffolding and a gantry that goes up to the wall. There is a walkway up there that lets them, as I said, patrol left, right in front of them. That also there's like 2-3 ladders that directly goes up, so that helps them if need be, gather forces as well. There is I would say that the door or the gate that they step through is just it's a somewhat a wooden gate that they can close down. It's now just half open, so they can just pass through. But it can also be closed down probably at a moment's notice. There are 2-3 large tree trunks that they can use to barricade the gate itself, to close it off as well. And then right before them, they can see, as the left and right, the mountain range extends further upwards, and providing shadow and protection to whoever is in this cauldron, maybe, to speak, of within this mountain. They can see tens and tens and tens and tens, and as Jebran probably guessed, there must be like hundreds, if not more, of these tens. Or there's a lot of tens where, folks of all ages and posture are currently lurking around campfires. There may be even discussing in a more frantic voice against each other. As maybe some small fights going on and others cheering them on. There is not much. There seems to be an internal order somewhat, but it's not like classically. There's everything is just going very well. There's probably an order or a law between this bandits, these outlaws, but it's not. It's probably more in the vicinity of whoever is strongest is correct or is right. Whereas otherwise there would be probably more of a law and order here, but that's like an internal order that's still maintained. Survival of the fittest, survival of the strongest, kind of deal here. So there's some like infighting. As I said, there's young people here. There's maybe a bit older ones that have maybe resorted to doing some other tasks than just thieving or banditing around. So the older that they get, they start to do maybe more tasks in the vicinity of providing supplies or something like that. They can even see that out of wood there have been, so I would say the first few rows, they can see just tents where probably the newcomers are, the newer one. As the more as they get closer to let's say to mountain range, when it seems to be that there is the more elite, or the older that they get, or the older in the sense of the longer they have been in this camp, there starts to be as well coming some shacks and small huts built out of wood as well. They can even see that there's some sort of like smithy created there, maybe a tanner, some sort of. So there's also people here that are tending for supplies, that are repairing armor, that are creating armor, creating weapons as well, repairing weapons as well, or tools or whatever. And as I said, the older the people get, the less they fight on, and the more they are inclined to help out in the camp other ways. And as I said, the internal order just gives them some sort of respect as well, to not be like attacked in the night. But I mean, if they do shitty work, they probably get fighted as well. Maybe there's even a discussion currently just going on, where where maybe one of the bandits is telling one of the smiths, "Hey, you did a shitty job. This sword broke," and the other one is saying, "Yeah, you gave me just shit material to work with in the first place, so what do you expect?" So there's a bit of a heated discussion going on between those two. And Jebran and Katania can also see as they get as they move through here, and it seems that they are going deeper and deeper within this camp. So they let the first few tents behind them, they get into the more as I said, these huts and shacks that they build in, where they see the smiths, etc. As they get more into this side of camp, they can also see, and they can see this before, that there are people in here in this camp that doesn't seem to belong directly. They don't look like cutthroats or bandits or outlaws in this set, but it's more like they look like outcasts. So they are here maybe not out of their own volition, of their own will, but it's just a way for them to maybe make ends meet. So they didn't have anywhere else to go, so they did go here. They tried to provide whatever they can in this camp. Mostly there are like age-wise people around that looks like the guy that is leading them, and even somewhat like around Katania's age. They don't even seem to be able to hold a sword correctly in their own hands. As I said, they're probably just some outcasts. They probably did something wrong from whatever village they come to, and just found this place to be safe somewhat, to at least get some food, if not anything else. So they try to make their living that way. And as they go deeper and deeper into the camp, they can see, apart from the wooden buildings that they build here, they are coming now to a building that is made out of stone, out of stone, probably broken off from the mountain itself. And it's nestled even more in the back of this whole camp, clearly right next to the mountain itself. There's like 2 or 3 of these buildings, of these stone buildings, and they look very familiar to Jebran and Katania as well. From the make and build, they look like those buildings that they have seen in the Underkeep of Spectres. So the architecture here seems to be quite familiar. There isn't a familiar keep around here, so it doesn't look it doesn't look that way. But it's like these 2 or 3 stone building that just at the back of this camp, and it seems as they get closer here now, this it is maybe in some sort of overhang within the mountain itself, built in these 2 or 3 buildings here. There is, whereas before it was like jam-packed, tent after tent after tent after building after building, it now gets a bit more wider, a bit more open. There's far less people here. There's just 2 or 3 campfires here where maybe 5, 10 people are around. This seems to be probably quite the inner circle of the camp. It's looking interesting here. As I said, there is even so there's maybe one of the buildings where there are currently two people standing guard right next to the entrance itself. And as they approach, these 2 guards speak directly to the small guy in front that is leading them, and asking them what he wants here. He has another job. He should be back at the gate. Why is he abandoning his post? And then he says something to them, not quite hearable by Jebran and Katania themselves as well. Then the guards are looking at them and tell them, "You 2 come over here." And in his voice, they can already feel that they should better comply right now. They don't seem to be that happy, and so they approach near this guard as well, is mustering them, they are more or less like pushing them into this building as well. So one of the guard is pushing them in, and one of the guard is accompanying them in, and they get into this small building here. There is just like 2 small windows where they could have seen before, but they're closed down by just some wooden planks that they shot around the windows. The interior is lit by a lot of candles and lights that are just hanging there around, providing some light in this very dark. It's a very dimly lit room here. There isn't much of furniture or things here. There's maybe in one corner there is what looks like some sort of something that where you could like rest, like some pelts or fur and skin that has been put into one corner where you could probably just relax or sit down. There's maybe one or two chairs there where you can sit on. There is a hearth in one corner, but currently unlit. There is a small table where there's food and, as it looks like, some sort of drinks, maybe mugs with ale, maybe a small barrel of ale as well on this small table. And there's a bigger table where there is paper and maps, crude maps, scattered across this table. And behind that table is a statue of a man, quite covered in fur and pelts around his body. He's a very statue of a man. He has more muscles than anything else. Jebran could as well see behind all that fur and pelts, there seems to be some sort of, at least some sort of like chain mail that is on his upper body, so he seems to be also as well armored as well. There are three swords hanging around his belt. There is a spear right next to his or leaning against the wall as well. And one of the guards that accompanied them into this small building is again moving towards this monumental man, and speaking something in his ears as well. Again, completely unheard by Jebran and Katania, and both of them now feel very uncomfortable in whatever happens here. They're now quite very well in the lion's den. They have no idea what's happening. Whatever they are whispering to each other, Jebran could think it's probably not the best things. It's probably not very helpful for them, whatever just goes on here. And then the guard goes back to his post outside of the building. This monumental man behind the desk just grabs one of his swords and lays it onto the table, and then looks both Jebran and Katania in the eyes and says, "Tell me why you are here. Tell me now and tell me truthfully, or your sword will be the last thing you see here." And with that, we end this episode as well. So Jebran and Katania are now completely in the lion's den, and have to face whatever is coming for them. And we will see or hear then in the next episode what this man is and how Jebran and Katania can maybe get out of here. Asking for directions wasn't probably the best idea for Jebran. So now they have to face those consequences. But we'll see about that in the next episode. Hear you then.